Hello, friends. Welcome to Rugby Uncovered. I'm Paul Rodriguez, and today we are joined by Zainab ALema from Barnes Rugby Club. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Hi, Paul.
Hi. Well, it's great to have you on the show. There's so much I want to talk to you about because you
hmm
are a NHS nurse by day and a
Yeah,
rugby player by passion. And
that's right.
you've set up a company to help people from the BAME ethnic minorities to help them get into rugby in Ghana as well. And you're known as
hmm
the bulldozer. And I'm thinking that you should be known as Superwoman because this is just incredible. So there's so much to ask you about. But what I'd like to know is let's go back to that first moment when you became interested in rugby. When was that
Yeah.
and how did that happen?
Okay, so it started at school, high school. So we had somebody come in a PE session. I think it was like a rugby development officer that came in to run a rugby session. And I was really interested. I knew about rugby, but I didn't know about women's rugby. So, the guy just came in, we had a little PE session. And my PE teacher was like, oh, you seem quite good. You seem like you're having fun out there. I think you should take up rugby. And I was like, nah, it's not my sort of thing. So I just sort of shrugged it off. So that was when I was in year 10. So then I went on to A level. So when I was about 17, I needed to do a physical component because I did a PE A level. And she was like, you need to do something physical. What sport would you like to do? And then I was like, I'm not really sure. Then I remembered my PE teacher back when I was in year 10. She said, why don't you try rugby? So I was like, you know what? Let me give it a shot. I'll try rugby. So that PE teacher, her name was Miss Middleton. She got me into my first rugby club. So she actually spoke to the head teacher and was like, one of my students, I wanted to get her into rugby club. It's part of our course. So she got me into Ealing Childfinders.
Right.
At that time I was playing for under 18s Emeralds for one season. And yeah, I've never looked back since then.
So how did you find your position in rugby, the actual position that you play?
Yes. I started off on a wing. So when I was at Ealing Childfinders, I started off on a wing because I didn't really know the game. So I was sort of learning about rugby. And it took a while because I was doing things like running on the opposite side, not passing the ball back and stuff like that. So as you do, you start off on a wing just to learn the game. And I was quite quick when I started playing rugby initially. And so I started off on a wing and then I sort of moved into the centres. So at number 13 was sort of my go-to position for quite a long time. So after I went to University of Hertfordshire. I played number 13 throughout the whole 3 seasons. I know at one point the coach wanted to try me at flank during university, but I sort of just stayed in the centres and I was comfortable there. So yeah, but
Brilliant.
quite recently, actually, I moved to be a forward number 8. Actually,
Right. Now,
yeah.
so you mentioned your teacher who gave you the idea of actually having a go at playing rugby. Tell us about the people who've encouraged you, and then also tell us about people who perhaps were more of an obstacle and said, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that."
So I'll say, okay, my PE teacher, she was very optimistic about me playing rugby. She was really encouraging. But she was like my point of call, my access to rugby. And then I had to sort of tell my parents that, I want to play rugby, and I was just sort of seeing what do you think about it.
Yeah.
My mum, she was fine. She was like, oh, I don't want you to get hurt. She was more about safety, because she knew that rugby was a tough sport and quite a physical sport. So she was worried about me getting injured. And then I was like, okay, so Dad, what do you think? And he was like a bit more like, are you sure you want to do that? I don't know, like what girls play rugby. I don't think he really knew that women play rugby. He just
Yeah.
knew it as a men's sport and it was so physical. So he didn't really grasp the idea of the fact that I'd be even interested in playing rugby. But I didn't listen to him anyway. I just, he didn't say no, but you could tell he was a bit like iffy about it.
Yes.
But I didn't pay no mind. And I think over the years, because he's seen that I really enjoy it, he sort of just backed off and just let me do me really. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So I would say, yeah, my parents were half was supportive, half was a bit like, but my PE teachers, yeah, they were amazing in the initial stages. They really wanted me to go ahead with it.
We've seen a lot of women in football these days, and it's been accepted. But I suppose the thing with rugby is because it's a physical game, the older people think, well, should women be playing it? And of course, there's no reason why they shouldn't be. It's just this
Of
this
course.
idea that it's a men's game. But we at Rugby Uncovered have watched some absolutely amazing women's games, and we think
Yeah.
that there should be more and more people being encouraged to play it, encouraged to watch it, and people like you are really blazing the trail for that. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
you're trying to encourage people who may
Yeah.
have come across the same sort of feeling that perhaps they shouldn't be playing rugby because they're a woman or for other
Yeah.
reasons. You're obviously a very strong-willed woman. What would you say to them to try and encourage them to do it?
So I always refer to the fact that when I first started playing rugby, obviously it was really hard initially to know if I belonged in rugby.
Yeah.
And it wasn't nothing to do with the people that I was playing against. Like my teammates and the people that I met within the rugby community were absolutely welcoming. They didn't see anything wrong with a Muslim woman being on their team. But it was more of me sort of like not seeing anyone that looked like me. There was not really much representation, let alone from the Black community, but also being Black and Muslim and a woman. I didn't see anyone. So I was really struggling to know if rugby was a sport for me.
I see.
But I loved it. So that just, that sort of blew away any sort of doubt, is the fact that I really loved the sport. And I just thought to myself, like, it shouldn't matter about my beliefs. It shouldn't matter about how I identify myself. As long as I love the sport and we're all together on the same pitch, we all have one aim to play together and to look out for each other on the pitch and to win a game. It shouldn't matter. So so I think initially I did struggle, but that was sort of that was just myself putting myself in that position where I was just questioning whether it was for me. But actually at that time as well, I think the only person that I knew of colour that was playing rugby was Maggie Alfonsi, who was like elite. She was elite, but at the grassroots level, I didn't see much people. There was actually only one time at university.
Yeah.
I was playing, University of Hertfordshire were playing, I can't remember who the team was, and I saw another Black girl on the opposing team, and I was just gobsmacked. And so, during the game, we were marking our players in the defensive line, and I was like, because everyone's just calling out who they've got, and someone was like, oh, I've got the one with the ponytail, I've got somebody with the red socks, and I was like, oh, I've got the Black girl, and everybody just stopped. Like, even the ref stopped and everyone looked at me and was like, I'm allowed to say that, like, there's nothing wrong with me saying that. But I was simply because I was amazed.
Yeah.
I was literally shocked because there was another girl on the pitch of ethnic minority and she wasn't me. Yeah. And I was just so happy. Yes. So I think the main message is that just do it. Like, don't be afraid. There's going to be times in life where you may feel like you're the only one doing it, but just do it because you're passionate about it, and I feel like you will open doors to other people. So the advice I would give to anybody of ethnic minority, whether it be rugby or football, whatever sport it may be, just do it because you love it. Yes. And don't think about the rest. Just do it because you love it, and you will help pave the way for others.
Have things changed in the last few years?
I think so. And I say this because you're seeing more ethnic minority people coming into rugby. Well, I'm talking specifically the women's game.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, you've seen the likes of like Shauna Brown, for example, and Gavinia Caitlin that you interviewed as well.
Yes.
And it's like you're starting to see them, and that's representation. And I always said that I believe that if I'd seen a lot more people from ethnic minority in the women's game, elite all the way down to grassroots level, I feel like I'd be probably more encouraged, or my parents probably would have been like, actually, you can do it because look, that girl, she looks like you. She's also from ethnic minority. If she can do it, you can.
Yes.
And I always say, seeing is believing. If you don't see people out there that are representing other cultures, you may feel like you can't do it. But But everyone has to start from somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can.
And it seems that people who play rugby get this joy that just cannot be expressed in any other way. And it's almost a testament to kind of what you went through in order to actually play the game, that shows
Yes.
you how much of a fantastic game it is. And
Oh,
pe-
100%. Yeah.
and people who play it want other people to be as passionate about it, about picking up that ball and running with it or tackling somebody, because
Hmm.
you don't get that and you can't get that in any other game. You can't get it in netball. You
Yeah.
can't get it in football.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
Would that
I
be
mean,
a fair
yeah.
comment?
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like when I talk about rugby to people, like even within my own household, people just think I'm crazy and I'm obsessed. And I'm like this. And I feel like it's not, I feel like any other person, a rugby player would act the same way, because it's just different. Like the, it's obviously being a mum as well and working in NHS, there are things, just stresses that come with that. So being able to go to training or play a match on Sundays and you're just running without care in the world and releasing all that stress, releasing all that energy, there's nothing like it really. And it's
Yes.
just, it's one of those things, it's just, I always tell people rugby is not just a sport. Like
Yes.
it's really just not, it's not just a sport. There's so many benefits, like aside from even the rugby values that you can, you know, take on into other aspects of your life. It's just the togetherness, the bonding, the sense of family, the, you know, just looking out for each other. And a lot of people that you do meet in your rugby, on your rugby journey, are probably people that you never would talk to on a normal, you know, going about your normal daily life. You never meet these people, but you are on the same team and you're all, you know, fighting, you know, together
Yeah.
on that pitch. And it's just something beautiful about the game.
Yes.
It's just, yeah.
And so for some people, it might not be that they don't think they could play it. They might say something like, well, you know, I'm just too busy. I've got too much going on. But let's put this in perspective. You're a mum of 3 children. Right, I've got 2, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so having a third is a lot of work. And
Yes.
and on top of that, you're a neonatal nurse for the NHS, which is, you know, must be a very stressful job. You
Yes.
must get home of an evening, especially, you know, with what's going on at the moment, and although you're on maternity leave now, but you must get home of an evening and just want to put your feet up and watch telly. But you are just dreaming about rugby, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's quite difficult to juggle all of that. But I always tell people rugby keeps me sane. So no matter how busy my life is with the kids and going to work, it's me, it's something for me, and nobody can take that away. It's that sort of, I can be a mother, I can be a neonatal nurse, but when I'm on the pitch and, you know, I'm Zainab the bulldozer, it's just different. That's something that is just for me. I don't have to share it. I also share it with my teammates and stuff, but it's something that, you know, is personal to me. And, you know, I always think back on, like, how would I be without rugby in my life? Because it is that outlet for me.
Yes.
And yeah, it's even at the minute, it's tough because we're obviously isolated, we're in quarantine and rugby season's ended. So it is a bit difficult not being able to sort of run on the pitch, have training with your friends and play a game. So that's been a bit difficult these last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But, you know, you just take everything as it comes and just sort of prepare for the next time we're back out there with your teammates.
So just to add to that, your husband is a rugby player as well.
No, my husband is not a rugby player,
Is he
but
not?
I use him. No, he's not a rugby player.
I thought he played rugby. Where did I get that? Why did I get that wrong? I'm sure I saw somewhere that he was
Maybe
a
there's
rugby
a clip you saw of me tackling him. Did you see that clip? Okay, so that was just actually recently, because I just told my husband that I need a rugby fix and I'm really bored and I just want to just, you know, I just want to pretend I'm on the pitch. Like, is it okay if I tackle you? And he was like, yeah, sure, like, that's fine. And so we went over to the local green, just like a few steps away from my house. And so I tackled him, and he was quite. I've never tackled him before, and he was really surprised. He was like, oh, "Why did you hit so hard?" I said, "Well, it's rugby. Like, what do you expect? Do you think I'm gonna go easy on you because you're my husband?" No, I'm not. So he was a bit shocked.
Newfound
but he's
respect,
very
eh?
supportive. Yeah, I think so. He's like, "Is that what you do to others on the pitch?"
Brilliant.
Yeah, but it was great. It was actually quite good fun. But he's always been really supportive of me playing rugby, which which is great. Like I always tell people, like I was playing rugby before I got married and before I had kids, and I was always worried that I would be with somebody that would tell me, oh, I don't think you should play rugby, like just be at home, be a stay-at-home mum and all that. But I'm so lucky to have a husband like him, because he's always encouraged me to play. And if I'm out of there, it's because he's home looking after the kids, or he's, you know, making sure that they're okay so I can go to training. So he's
Brilliant.
always been supportive. Yeah.
Oh, that's great to hear. Has there been anyone that you've within your family or within your close friends that you've then encouraged to play rugby, who've kind of looked at you and gone, you know, I fancy a go at that, and got hooked into it?
Yes, there's quite a few people actually. So I started off with my own family members, but I'm of six sisters, right? And out of six of them, about three of them, yes, I'm one of seven. So out of the six sisters, I think about three of them have tried. So
Really?
one actually played with me a whole season, and
Really?
she's my older sister. Yeah, she is my older sister, and she's also got three kids. So she just saw the way like rugby had I sort of helped me sort of with my body weight, because she wanted to really get into shape after having her third kid. So I said, why don't you just come to a training session and try it out? So she came with me. That time I was actually playing for Millwall in East London. And so she came with me to a training session, and she didn't know what she was doing, and I was so excited to be back. I forgot to explain, like I didn't explain to her, oh, make sure you pass backwards or this, that. I think it was a game of touch, but I was so happy to be back. I sort of just left her, and the girl sort of explained to her, this is what you do, and that's what you don't do this, you don't do that, and she loved it, and she kept on coming back. So we played together for a whole season actually, and yeah, it was actually absolutely amazing, and I was just so happy that. And she actually scored as well. She scored a try during one game. And I was just like, I just told you to play rugby. You came to a training session, you played with me for the season, and you managed to even score a try, and you've never played rugby before.
Amazing.
So it was just I was so proud of her, honestly. And yeah, she really did well. And then I've got another sister who I've been trying to get for the longest time to try rugby. And literally up until I think just before the season ended, she gave in. I was like, you know what, you're hassling me too much. I'll come to a training session. So I brought her to Barnes. The ladies were training on a Thursday night. She came with me, and she got right into the scrum. She tried being a hooker, and she just got on with it, and it was so good. And the girls were like, you should come back, definitely.
Brilliant.
And we had a good laugh, yeah. So yeah, I have tried to, but most. Actually, last season that just went by, I got a message in my inbox from one lady that we are childhood friends. Actually, went to different schools where we knew each other. We had mutual friends. So she messaged me and she said, "Oh, look what I've got here. I've just bought a pair of new rugby boots. I want to try rugby. Like, you've inspired me to try it out." Yeah, she was actually she's a student midwife. She's training to be a midwife. And when I got that message, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, you know. And because I put a lot of stuff on my social media about me playing rugby, and I just hope that maybe somebody will see it and be inspired and want to try the game. And now she actually plays with us. She plays for Barnes Ladies, and she's absolutely amazing. She's a fullback, and she just smashes it. Nobody can get past her. And I just
what's
think,
her name? She's
her name's Sabrina.
Sabrina.
Her name's Sabrina. We call her Seb.
Seb. So she's like
Seb,
the bulldozer version too, or
yeah, she's amazing. When I saw her play, I was just like, she is really good. Like, she's actually amazing. She's really tall. She's really you can't get past her, and she's very strong. So I was just like, this is amazing. Of all the people that I could help, you know, recruit for the team, it happened to be her, and she's great.
That's amazing. Now,
yeah,
if all that being a mum, NHS work, and everything else wasn't enough, you put even more on your plate to get more people interested in rugby you set up Studs in the Mud. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So Studs in the Mud is something that I set up in 2018. So it was just an idea. So what I wanted to do was use rugby to help others. because I just wanted to do some sort of charity work. I wanted it to be in line with rugby. So I just got pen to paper and I thought, what can I do? So I thought, let me start at home. So my parents are from Ghana. So I thought, let me take it to Ghana and see how it goes. So I went onto YouTube. I didn't even know that rugby existed in Ghana. So I went onto YouTube and I typed in rugby in Ghana and I saw a video of this young lady talking about rugby. And I was really intrigued. So I've hunted her down on Facebook and I messaged her. I was like, I've seen you on YouTube and I know you do work with Ghana Rugby and I really want to get involved. I want to help you. Tell me how. So she sent me a load of videos about because she was basically helping out with the Get Into Rugby program in Ghana, and she would go to schools and she would just offer like coaching and programs to the kids. And she showed me videos of kids playing rugby with like no shoes, no footwear.
Wow.
Like they were playing and they didn't have like the correct kit. They were playing on concrete as well. Can you imagine playing like
Yeah, no.
contact on concrete?
Mm.
And it was really like heartbreaking to see, but it was also heartwarming in the sense that you could just see the passion on their face. Like they absolutely loved the sport, but it's just that they didn't have the right equipment.
Mm.
So I set up a GoFundMe page and I got a lot of donations in from my then club at Millwall, and also my University of Hertfordshire. They also chipped in. We had a returners versus current student sort of charity event, and some money that was raised was also given to me to help with the project. And just a lot of rugby fans and people around just helped and donated equipment. Some donated money, and with the money I bought boots and I shipped them over to Ghana. And then I went to go and meet the staff and I met this lady. Her name is Rafa too, actually. So I met her and she took me along with her to all the schools and we got to meet the kids, got them to play rugby. And it was such a humbling experience, and there's a lot of things that we take for granted in this country. And just to have a bib to wear at training and stuff like that, and giving the kids these new equipment and stuff, you can tell on their faces they were just so happy to receive them, and it just made me want to do more of it. So I just it's like, this is what I want to do. So it all started off in Ghana.
Amazing.
And more recently, actually, I went to Morocco, in Marrakesh, with Studs in Mud, and I met up with the ladies' team in Marrakesh, and it was so good. And do you know what, Paul? It was such a special trip, I'd say, because I went over to Morocco. Obviously, there's a lot of Muslims in that country, and me being Muslim. Here, I didn't see a lot of Muslim women playing rugby, but there I was surrounded by them. So
Amazing.
it was really like, I was like, wow, and all of these girls, these ladies in the Marrakesh team, they were playing rugby, they were training together, and I'm just like, this is amazing. Like, and it was such an eye-opener, and they were really nice bunch of girls. And before I left there, I did ask them, like, what kind of things do you guys need? And they said footwear, because a lot of them, the captain that I met there, her name is Yusra, she told me that when they play a tournament, for example, she would wear her pair of boots, she would take them off, and she would come off the pitch and give the pair of boots to her teammates, and so that she can go and play.
Wow.
So we're basically sharing footwear. So I said, you know what, I really want to help them out. So I set up a GoFundMe page again, and a lot of people donated, and we've got about 25 pairs of new firm ground rugby boots ready to be shipped. Once this coronavirus thing has ended, I'll get them shipped out to them.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
if things weren't so crazy at the moment with us all being locked down and everything, how often would you be going to Ghana normally? Would you go once a year to see how things go, or are you just literally too busy to do that?
Yeah, I think on a normal sort of time, I do try to go to rugby at least every 2 years. But if this project, there wasn't any of this coronavirus, I think I'd go much more regularly, especially to try and make sure that the project is sustaining. And what I had wanted to do this year was do a women's sevens tournament in Ghana.
Yeah.
So I was really getting everything prepared, and then obviously with the virus happening, that sort of had to take a step back from that. So I'm hoping maybe next year we can do that. I'm just sort of hoping that we get enough funding. At the
Yes.
moment, we're trying to fundraise for that. So we're working with Barnes Sevens. So that's I play for Barnes, and they have a organisation, Barnes Sevens, where these two girls have actually set up, Tracy and M, and they've offered to help me raise funds for this Sevens in Ghana. And yeah, so a lot of people want to help, which is absolutely great. There's so many people that have come on board since I've started this.
Really amazing. Very heartwarming to hear. And
100%, yeah.
yeah, I look forward to interviewing you pitch side when all this craziness is over and you're back ready to
Yes,
play rugby, which obviously can't come soon enough.
yeah.
So what are you doing for your rugby fix at the moment?
Yeah, I sort of go onto YouTube, watch old games, or I think even World Rugby have been posting sort of replaying some of the games. I did watch the what was it? It was Ireland versus New Zealand game the other day,
Yeah,
which was great. And yeah, it's been good. That's what I've been doing, just going on YouTube watching old videos, and also actually on Instagram. A lot of some teams are doing like challenges, so I watch like the fitness challenges. I know like Rachel Burford's been doing like lockdown squad, so I sometimes watch her.
excellent.
And just just sort of try and stay in it. And
Yes.
also my team, we've been doing a lot of quizzes and all these kind of things within our Barnes group chat, which has been great.
Have you done any Zoom training yet with the team?
It's actually on the card. So our
Yeah,
coach, Kirsty Openshaw, has actually asked if we want to do that, and a lot of us are keen. So we'll hopefully get that running soon.
brilliant stuff. Well, Zainab, thank you so much for talking to us today, and
Thank
please
you.
keep up the good work. As I say, we really look forward to seeing you pitch side and hearing more about your projects and your career in rugby. Just for the listeners, if they wanted to follow you on either Instagram or Twitter, give us your handles and give us your website names or any way that they could do that.
Yeah, so on Instagram, I'm ALema, which is ZEEALEMA. That's on Instagram, and on Twitter, ALema Zainab on Twitter.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. We'll put links to that in our show notes as well.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Take care. Thank you so much for listening. And if you would like to be on the show, we'd love to hear from you. Drop us an email, paul@rugbyuncovered.com. Until next time. Bye.